Welcome to the session. I hope all are doing well. So now previously we discussed about this for loop. So now we are going to discuss about this while loop, some real life examples. So here are the examples for ATM withdrawal. Write a function that processes an ATM withdrawal and validating the amount against the balance and ensuring it's a multiple of 100. So here you are saying that. So here you have to uh, draw the money. That too, the amount will be have to be divisible by 100. Means it is a like the last digit of the last two digits of the number, like amount which you drawn is have to be 00, because then only it can divisible by 100. So like that, if you enter like 93, like 9,030 rupees, okay, so you cannot take like that, so you have to take like 9,900, 400, 500, like that, which was divided by 100. So here are the conditions, and if we already done same thing in, yeah, same thing in the normal, like before encapsulation, after encapsulation, same thing we done. So here it is the def function. Okay, so we already discussed how the why we are writing this function. So when we are writing, we can write this code out of this function. Like we write this whole code inside this function, right? So we can write our without this function also. But see here, if we write with the function, so what is the use? The use was we can reuse that, and like see here the main thing was we can call it or like that. So if we want to call it the function, so when we call it, it will print inside the function. So now this is a basic example, so maybe you cannot like understand the what is calling. So afterwards you will understand everything, like why the calling was needed for this function and after the words. So now we are going to this that inside this, see this withdraw. Here the function was withdraw. Okay, here the function was withdraw. So see here, first of all, he was said that he want to withdraw some amount. So the amount must be divisible by 100. So first two conditions are what he given was, if amount was less than zero. Okay, if amount was less than zero, then you have to return the balance and invalid amount, which you enter the some amount, right? So that amount was invalid amount, and after that, if the amount is not divisible by 100, like the remainder is not equals to 0 when divisible by 100, then same thing, return balance amount must be multiply of 100. It have to show this. Okay, you have to show both balance and invalid amount, and both balance and amount must be multiple of 100. So previously I said that if here we use print, then here we use to return. So see here, here we use to return, like he said that print, in the question he was saying that the amount against the balance and ensure it's multiple, like so here he said only write a function that process an ATM withdraw. So maximum you have to use this return only. So when he said call it, okay, when he said call it, so in the calling we cannot print using this return. So if we calling means what, just printing this message, it's also a calling. But if when you run, you didn't get anything, because you're not saying to print it, you're just calling it. So if you're calling it here, you have to print here, you have to use print. So because of that, we did not get the answer. So if you print here, then there is no problem in it. So maximum you have to use this format. If they will ask, you have to call it, then only you have to do here print and remove print here, just call the function, then only you will get the output, otherwise you will get a blank thing. So here he written that withdraw. Okay, this is the function which we have to use. Okay, by this only we will go into here. So if you enter spelling of withdraw is different, like if you forgot to type wr, then we cannot go into this, and it will say undefined function. So when you written withdraw, right, so see here, withdraw, these are the two elements, like we can use it. So here the one element was balance and another one is amount. So we can use this balance and amount both and inside the function. So here he used amount balance, like that. So which we are want to use. So we have to give inputs here, like you can say like inputs. Okay, so with this when we are again at last of this code, when we are it is not a loop. Okay, this is just a function. Inside the function we are giving the both conditions and yeah, conditions and statements. So then we will get the like output when we are printing the function. So we are just enough to print the function, then we will it will run the whole code. It's not like a loop. Okay, it not like runs again and again. It just runs only one time. If you change the values and run it, then it will see that. So see here, it is the balance, this is the amount. So actually you have to do that, balance equals to input, amount equals to input, like that something. So here, see, when we are taking this withdraw function, so balance and amount, these two elements are we are going to use. So if amount which we entered, okay, here after this code we have to enter both balance and amount, and after that we can call it or we can print it as like based on the question. So here balance and amount, if amount which we entered is less than or equals to 0, then return balance invalid amount. And there is another option that, see here, you can, there we used balance, here we used balance, right? So if you remove this, and here also okay, just add l and leave like this, like, see, we get the same answer. Why? Because see here you use any words, like you use one comma, like n or m comma n, like balance amount, anything. Here what you are writing here, it does not need any input. Like for example, before time when we used some variables, right? So if we use directly a variable inside the any like a condition, so it will ask what is the value of d, or what is the value of b. See, here previously we discussed the same thing, that uh print a equals to body. What will be happen? See here, print a is somewhat print a. So when it printing, it don't know the value of a, but we printed it downside. So it how it get the point that a equals to 40? It did not get, because we printed at downside. So it did not know that. So but see here, when you print here the variables which was balance and amount, but you are giving the inputs here. Okay, you can give input also. It has a input, int of input. Okay, so oh, enter amount. You can do this thing also. So here see, print a, first here it will runs this thing. Okay, it will run this thing. When it was going at here, so it was the value of this thing. So what is the value of withdraw of balance comma 1200? Balance we have to give as a input. So when I run it, it will ask the balance. So enter amount. So first it will runs this thing, and after only it will goes at here. So enter amount. So it will ask amount, right? So I will give 4,000. So it's my balance. So after that, what it was saying that amount we already given as direct, no inputs. Directly we given whether amount was 1,200. So when I do here enter, so it will run this function. Okay. After running this, what we will get? Let's see. So here I do enter. Yeah, it was seeing this back. No problem with that. See here. Withdraw 1,200, new balance was 2,800. So how it runs? So here you can enter any type of variable. Okay, but it have to be in a variable, and you can enter anything. Like here you can enter a b c d anything. Okay, balance amount or what you want to withdraw or what you can. So here you can enter any type of variable, but make sure here you're entering the as per the given input to the variable, right? That variable you have to enter here, so that when you run this function, right, so what it will assume, right? This BAL is balance. This 1,200 as amount, because you are giving the exact positions of the balance as bal and amount as 1,200. Okay, so you are giving the position of these two as these two. So that's why it recognize like it will remove this balance and it will add this bal. It will remove this amount and it will add the 1,200 there. So it will proceed with these values. So that's this is the process of doing this function here. So when this function will runs, what we will get? What is the value, like what is the amount balance? The amount balance was 4,000. So amount was like 1,200, not less than zero, and amount was divisible by 100. So it not equals to is also false. So these both conditions are false. And when we are going to this condition, amount was greater than balance. So yeah, what is the amount is greater than balance? No, balance is 4,000. Amount was 1,200. And after this, these three conditions were get false. So that if balance will amount will be greater than balance, then what? Yeah. So here, hmm, see, so the balance which now the amount was 7,001 rupee. So this is not divisible by 100. So if I enter 5,000, which was less than 7,000, it will say amount must be multiplied by 100. So it will print this message. Okay, it will print the message. So because you know that it is not like a if else statement. So see here, when inside the function how it works, like if you send one the value of amount was 7,001. 7,001 is accept this like pass from this condition. But when we are going to here, it have to be check if right, not this is if else. So if right, so it will have to be check every condition. But this is inside the function. That is the reason amount when amount was not divisible by 100, then it return this thing. So immediately it will return this thing and it will be stopped there, because and again see there here what they written was return balance comma amount must be balance multiple of 100. So here what have to be come as output, like the value of balance was which we entered here, something like 5,000. So it have to be give like 5,000 gap amount must be multiply of 100. But what we are doing here, see, which we balance. So this I am explaining this about this statement. So what is that statement was balance comma message. Okay, this is like message. So here if we run this code, what we are getting, that we are getting this line. because 701 was not divisible by 100. So what is that was balance which we entered here. So here what is the value of balance? Because we entered the same thing here. So comma which like after that what we written amount must be multiply of 100. So same thing it will print that amount must be a multiple of 100. So here see this both balance. This is like a comma b comma a like that. So which was we can like shifting like a equals to 10, b equals to 20. When we do this a comma b equals to b comma a, it will swap like their values like that, same like that. So here when we are done equal to this balance and this balance will cut off like these both are same, right? So remove this. So here what is the value like a value of message? The value of message was miss the string of like yeah, the value of message was amount must be a multiple of 100, which was this. So that is the reason. See here they used balance, so that here also he used balance because of we have to print message, then we are just enough to print that. If you remove this thing, so when you wait, I will remove this. So what will be, what is that line? Okay, enter amount. I want to give some 5,000. See here 5,000 amount must be multiple of 100, it coming like this because the balance is not done with it. So it was giving like 5,000 comma amount must be multiple like that. So he was giving, if you remove their balance, if you there remove there the balance which you entered. So if you give here again 5,000, it will say amount must be multiple of 100. So this is the way of doing like that. See, we have to use return because we already print the message. We usually print the message. So what is the message? The message was like, so you cannot call it a message. You can call it a m anything, no problem. It's a variable, right? So message equals to withdrawal, which was the function. It was saying that this function and it was giving the values. So what is the value of this is equal to message. So what is the value of this? What is the balance here? Balance we entered 5,000 and the amount was 7,001. It yeah, pass it failed at this condition, so it doesn't print it. And when it was going to here, it failed. So sorry, it passed. So it have to print amount must be multiple of 100. See here, if the three condition were failed, like yeah, were failed, like amount is not greater than balance, amount will be divisible by 100, or amount is greater than 0. So these three conditions were be failed. So what will be happen? After these three conditions will be failed, then it goes to here. What is that? Balance minus equals to amount. Means what is the meaning of this was which you entered amount, right? So it will cut off from the balance, which how I given 5,000 here. If I enter here 3,000, if I enter 3,000, so if I run it, so what will be happen? This 3,000 will cross this three conditions. Okay. After when it going to here, what is the balance? If I enter balance 7,000. So 7,000 minus 3,000. So we can do like this, like taking another variable and saying that C equals to balance minus amount. But here C, when we are doing like the using this minus equal to, so what is the use for that was when we are using minus equal to, so it was automatically cut from the balance and again we will get the new balance. Okay, so that is the reason why we are used this increments and everything, because why here we are doing the decrement, but it's not in a loop. So we will decrement in only once, that too balance minus amount, and it becomes a new balance for us. So when we enter 6,000, 6,000 minus 3,000, we will get 3,000. So that 3,000 is new balance for us. So same as like that. So when you run it, it will gives so here he did not use if, like, else, like anything, because if these three conditions were be failed, so we will get this return. Otherwise, we will get otherwise this message or this message, like that. So yeah, here add this balance, and here also add the balance, like that. So yeah, if you see, if I run here, what would be happen? It want to enter, like I will enter 3,000. Yeah, not 3,000. If I enter 2,000, insufficient funds. So we will get like that. Yeah. So after this, see here, like that. It will works like that. So with this one question, you did not get everything. Like after this, we are doing this function. So what we get for this value was, we will get 3,000 and 2,000 we will get here, which was amount was greater than balance, insufficient funds. So balance comma insufficient funds, balance will cut, message equals to, what is the message, insufficient funds, it will print the message. So like that it works. So inside that, yeah, this thing we have to learn. So if we these three are failed, so we can go here. So when we are going here, there is no condition required, because we used every condition at here. If these three conditions were be passed, so I mean failed, so we will go with this sentence. What is the sentence? Balance. So remove this balance, this balance. Okay, will cut. So what is here was same. We print what we print normally, print f inverted commas, and we use withdraw amount, new balance, like that. But when we are going to here, so we are using return, so we cannot use these brackets. When we are using print, we can use brackets. For each keyword, there is a different rules. So for return, you don't have to use any brackets. You have to use like same inside the print, how you will type, same thing you have to type here, but without brackets. That's all. And after that, this question was completed, and this is how it works when we are printing the function and giving some values to it. So it will assume the these positions and these positions and equal them, and after equal them, it will proceed with the inside condition statements. And when which conditions or statements are will be passed or failed, then it will go to here, like that. So it will be happen. We know that. So after that, yeah, here, see, it was saying that the function returns a tuple new balance comma message instead of muting a global variable. This is the standard function pattern. Okay, and here you can see that global variable. So I want to say that what is the global variable? See here, yeah. So what is global variable and local variable? So see here, if we enter any variable, like previously in many questions we done that t equals to 0 for what, total, it was a total, right? So when we entered t equals to 0 at outside the loop or outside the statements, what we done was this t equals to 0 will applicable for each and every inside or outside and every statement. Like this t equals to 0, well, if you print t here, it will print 0. If you print t here, it will also 0. And if you print t here, it will says t is the value of t was 0. For example, let's take the same example and we will do that. If I want to print here, t. So when I run this, it asks the amount. What for this zero comes from this print t. If I so if I here if I want return t, here you don't have to print. You have to just return t. Okay, return t means if when you are printing that you just return the t. If you so for this t you have to print, so we have to do amount less than 0. So here this 3000, right? Add minus, again run it, 3 rupees, invalid amount. We get invalid amount. I forgot to say that don't return another thing at same like I done that. I written the T at here at the fifth line, right? So don't do that type of things. I forgot that. So here it will print only the first line. Don't print. I don't want the second line that there. So if you want, then you can print the same thing at using this comma and here. So if I T here for we have to enter -3 because my amount will be negative. Then only this statement will be prints. See here -3, invalid amount 0, like that. So here we get the value of t. So for example, so if I see I use t equals to 0 at here. So I went, but the value of t where I printed it here. So this is called a local variable, which I use is here global variable. So the value of t we can use anywhere. If you can use here, you can use here, you can use here. Otherwise, you can use here also. If you use anywhere, it will print the value. But see here, this is called local variable. The difference between the global variable and local variable was the global variable which was we can access from access in any line. Okay, so after that associate like after that assigning that we can use in any line. But see here, when we are coming to this local variable, this local variable was given in this if statement, so you have to use inside this statement only. You cannot go outside the statement. If there is enter amount, I done 3001, so which was not divisible by 100. If I enter randomly some number and enter, so it will say that in line 13 and line 7, what is the line 7 was this t. So you used the t was see uh, local error, say unbound local error, that cannot access local variable t where it is not associated with a value. So you're not associated that value of t at inside this if statement. You associated at above the statement, but you're saying that return the value of t at in the another statement. How it will be possible? It was saying that. So you have to if you given a here a variable, so you have to use inside this fifth statement. You cannot use this same t at another if statement. If you want to use, then you can assign another value for that same value, another value, anything, but you have to assign inside the if statement. Then only you can use this local variable. Otherwise you have to give as a global variable, then you can use anywhere. So this is what it was saying. So not only in functions, in may like outside also. Before that, when we used here if right. So what we done the same input, n equals to input, n equals to enter amount, n equals to enter amount, like that. But why it doesn't show that you are using same variable in multiple lines and multiple inputs you are getting with the same variable? Because we are using the n in different if statement, else statement, like elif statement, we used in different statements. So that is the reason why it doesn't show any error. So but when you said like if you use the value, if you assign the value in if statement and you want to print the same value of the variable in else, it doesn't take like that. So it's called local variable. If you want to print the same value in both if else, then you can do one thing. Give as a global variable means starting of the code, then you can access it like how we given like count equals to 0, total equals to 0, like that. So we can access the total equals 0 in inside a inner for loop. For nested for loop we used inside a inner for loop the value of the total, like that we can go anywhere. But if you assign a variable inside the inner for loop, then we cannot what is that, go further, because it's a different thing. I already explained that, so no need of it here. So first of all, we are going with the if statements. After that, we can involve this for loop, while loop inside the def function. See, there is nothing but if you enter any two variables right here, so it will capture the positions of this two when going ahead here. It will occupy this balance value. Val will occupy this value like this position, and this 3001 will like occupy this position. So this is how they will work. Other than that, there is nothing like this. So why this will use for that? We can print it or we can call it. We can use it like that. So here was saying that instead of global variable, he taken tuple. We are getting the output in the form of tuple. If you use balance comma like that, we did not get in tuple, because why we need the in the tuple, because there is only one element, that too insufficient font or invalid enter, like that. So there is no tuple needed when we are having one variable, like one value. If we are having two or three, then we need this tuple, because and which was separating with comma, like that, right? So after this, that is the one question. Just I want to pick and just I want to give some explanation regarding that, and I've given. So here, this is the welcome function. Okay, like this is the topics. After this, we have to do examples, but I started before, so no problem with it. See here, def welcome. Here the function, the name of the function was welcome. Okay, here. So there is no nothing given inside it. Do that thing that, yeah. If we go with the compiler, so see here the thing that def welcome of. Okay, so what it was that the name of the function was welcome, and if you call the function welcome like welcome, then it prints that welcome to basic python programming. So here you can see that here when it was just calling, but you used print here, so that is the reason when you're calling it, then it was giving the uh, it was printing that. If see def welcome off, there is no elements inside the welcome, because there is no need. Just we are having only one statement, that too when we call it, just it will print the welcome to basic python programming. So like that, if you remove this print and you want to return it, so same thing, how you return the statements and sentences inside the print, same as written like that, but without brackets and adding written in front of it. So when you run, it doesn't give any value, because you just calling it. So if you use print inside it, then it will be when you're calling, it will print that. But so you have to use print of welcome. Okay, welcome of this is mandatory. If there is no elements also, you have to mention this. Otherwise, it have to be saying that this is a function. So same thing. Welcome to basic Python, like that. Sorry, Python programming. So when you print here and use return here. Otherwise, if you written here, like call here, you print here anything your wish. But if you use calling and return, you did not get anything. If you use both sides, print, you will get the answer welcome to python, but again you will get the none, because you're saying that print again and again and again, but it did not give two answers. It will give one answer, and again one thing is none, because there is nothing to print. See, when you print welcome, so it goes here. So print welcome. So when we printing the welcome to basic Python programming. After that, there is nothing to print because we already printed the welcome to basic Python programming. So it will show that you said again run again print. So there is nothing. So I am giving the none. We know that what is the value of none, which is nothing. If there is nothing, it will give none, like that. So this is a basic thing which we have to know about this def function. So previously in encapsulation I said this thing. So how to this block of code assigned to the function and name something named function. So again we call it, we printed what is the differences we already discussed, but we are going to the unit 3, right? So just I am explaining. So after this, same thing what we learned outside, same thing he was taking it in a slow way, but yeah, you can use def functions in many, like same as if for, like that. Here like that for next we will get some another def functions also, like for starting a def greet name. Okay, so here you have to the function name of the function was greet and name. Inside that we given an input that name. So why here we before we did not give was there is no need of that, but here see hello, what is the name we are giving as input, it will print the same thing at here. So like same as before time we did not done this, like this is the new thing for us. See here def greet name. So what you same like here used already print here. So you just call it enough, don't print it again. So when you're calling it, you have to give here something name like Rohit or something which you want, like your name. Okay, so when you're giving it, when you're calling it, right, so it goes to here, and here the position of the name will occupy by Rohit and greet Rohit. See means what will happen, where was this variable was available, like where was this name was there, here the name was here. So like that, at every place the name instead of name we have to write Rohit. Okay, same as like replacing the position of name at every place by Rohit, like print hello name. So hello, after the hello what will be happen, hello Rohit, it will prints. So when you run it, this none, like just remove it. Yeah, when you run it, hello Rohit and welcome to the basic Python programming, hello Rohit, like that. So here see he was saying that like here there is no elements for that. Here slowly he was inviting it, and after that adding two numbers. These are the like basic things he was slowly going with it. Here again one thing, that adding two numbers. So def add, yeah you can add also if you can a also, but you have to use here also a. Then what you will get when you will running, you will get sum is 30 because we given inputs as a and b as 10 and 20, like that. So see here why there is not a particular thing. I already saying that function is also a type of a variable. We can write anything function, functions which was you are giving at here, the name is as a variable. Okay, you can give anything as a variable, but don't think like if we want we have to be print welcome for welcome to basic Python programming. Greet means we have to use only names, not like that. You can use anything. So here when coming to the add, so he just in the question is mentioned that add because of he is using that inside the answer. That's why. Okay, so that don't think if when we are adding two numbers, so we have to use add only. We without you add also we can do that. This function, the name of the function is also a variable. You can use anything there. Okay, add, do with add. Okay, so after this add what will be happen, a comma b return a plus b. So here you have to print it. when we saw here written, right? So you have to print it. So this code is write our own. If they say print the function, or if they say call the function, you have to do in this format: print here, call here. If they say uh, print the function, call here, print here, like that. It's everything like you have to read the question thoroughly, then you will get like clearly, then you will get the point whether I have to print it, whether I have to call it. So after this, def add a comma b. So when you're giving result equals to add 10 comma 20. So what will be happen was it will says that the value of result is equals to the value of add of 10 comma 20. So what is the add of 10 comma 20? It was clearly we can see that add of means it was a function. So where this function was available was above it. So what is that above, sorry, add comma, sorry, add of 1 comma b. So what is the positions which was a comma b will occupy by 10 comma 20, and where was the positions of a and b will slowly occupy by 10 and 20. So where the written a plus b will become written 10 plus 20. What is 10 plus 20? 30. So here print sum equals to is like is no need or need, we can see in test cases. So without that result, main thing was result. So what is the value of result? Result value was 30, return 30. So when we are printing, the value of result was 30, like that we will get. If you see, remove it and say add of 10 comma 20. So it will give the same thing 30, but somehow you're assigning this function to a variable. Like here, see, this is a function, and you're assigning this function to a variable and printing it somehow seems good. So other than that, there is no difference between printing this and printing this. So print that same thing result. In some cases, in some questions, they will say that assign the function to a variable, like yeah, variable result or variable something variable, and print that variable. Then it compulsory that you have to print like that, otherwise the hidden test cases will never be passed, because you did not done in the way of saying in the question. So like this. So these three are things that which here used: no elements, one element, two element, and you know the difference between calling and print, and print written and print, like that. So here we can put the conditions here, same as how you written like print of a plus b. So it will give 30, like that, same as here also. But you have to remove the print and brackets. You have to add written and giving some gap between this condition and written, like that. And you can use if else statements inside the def, that we previously seen the kind of question, right? First question. So that question having that if else statements. So after this rectangle area, so how we find rectangle area? So see in this things, the function was good for this kind of situations. Control V. See here, def area of length comma width, return length into width. So what was happening here, you know that how we find the area of the rectangle. So if we want to find the area of the rectangle, so what you would do, so you have to do was giving the measurement start first. So what is the area, function name area? You know that we can write anything there, but in question they mentioned area. So just our convenient we are doing the area. Otherwise we can do anything. It just gives the answer. So area of length comma width. So yeah, here there is no mandatory that you have to use this length comma width. You can use L comma W, anything as your wish. How which variables are convenient to you, then use that variables. And after that length comma width, right? So return length into width. So when you're calling this function, when you have to print this function, it will print that same thing, length into width. See here, he did not take any variable like previously we done. What we done was return So return not result equals to area, right? Area of 5 comma 8. He did not done here. So see here, both are same. I am saying the same thing. Both are same. If they will say that, you have to must and should you have to do that, which was I done now. Result equals to area of 5 comma 8. Otherwise, you can go with like this. Other you can write the result result of 5 comma 8 also. Just if they will say assign, you have to assign, otherwise leave that, no problem with that. So when we are going with this small function area of length comma width, so you entered here area same thing, but 5 comma 8 which was occupy the positions of length comma width in inside the function. Okay, where inside the function means where the positions of length and width here, the position of length was here, the position of width was here. So 5 will goes here, 8 will goes here, 5 into 8 40. It will gives the area of the rectangle was 40. Suppose you want to find area of the square, so what you have to do, L square means you have to enter only one element which was length. Sorry, length means length of the list or something, so it was showing that. So use another thing, length square. You know this symbol what it implies, square. So we have to do some 3 or 4 examples on that, then we get the some grip. So no problem. This is how we define that square, cube, power 4, power 5. This is power. This symbol is used for power. And here you have to remove this width because there is no need. And this is how you have to do. And don't give here. It will show some error. Like if you run it, it will show where this 8 will have to be go. See one position. A takes only one position argument, but two were given. This is called argument. Okay, inside it will called argument. So here you have to be give only one argument, but you given two arguments. So remove that and do it, it will give 25. So the side of the area which was length was 5 here we mentioned. So we given input of the length was 5. So written 5 square. What is a 5 square? 25. So like that. When we are going into this thing, so here we have to learn. We can both like here we can do the conditions, and when we are running it like print it, so it will run. And what we inside here what we are giving argument, so it will replace this argument and giving which we given as input 5, so it will take that like that largest number. Inside this we can same thing, we can find it as a like which was largest number. Here using if else not for loop, having some time to get for loop. Def largest a comma b, there is only two numbers which if you want whether this number is greater than this number or this number was greater than this number. So if you want that, you can go with this function. What is this function was largest of a comma b. If a is greater than b, return a. Okay, a is greater than b, return a. So if this condition will be fails, means what is the meaning? If this condition will be fails, then b was greater than a or b equals to a, right? So see here, if a is greater than b, then it will return a. If this condition fails, means what is the meaning was b is greater than a or b equal to a. So then in that situations, it will return b. Okay. So when you run it, it prints that 15 because a is greater than b he said, so 15 greater than. Here there is no else required. Okay, inside this def function there is no else required because if this condition fails, it goes after. Other than that, it will stops here. Okay, if this condition will be passes, then it will be at here. Okay, means when this condition passes, it prints here and it will stop there and it will give only 15. If for suppose it will false, then only it will go to the this line. Okay, and after this when we run it, we will get 15. So like that, comma 18. Sorry, 18. 17. Okay, no problem. So 17. Like this condition fails, so it have to be go to the line, fourth line. Okay, like that. The common errors was def hello print hi. So after the function, you have to must mention this uh, dots. Okay, this is the like it was saying that you have to be like considered as this function. See, this whole thing was inside this def function means what is the meaning was this whole statements and if statement and this statement b everything was belongs to def largest of a comma b. If you did not return like that, so how it will be finds if you when you call it or when you print it, so how it goes at here without having like connection. So it is the main thing that connecting this both this loop like this condition like this code and this function, and when we call it or when we print it, then it immediately goes at here, so with the connection of this thing, otherwise we cannot go in it. So it was saying that same don't forget to put it. And after that, yeah, this is a and here are the conversion type conversion we already discussed in previous, so we just going into a basic in a basic manner because we already discussed about this thing. See here, the given that num equals to 25 in which format, in string format. If you see, if you want, you can print type. Okay, type of what is that num. What it will when you run it, it will says that class string 25 class int. Why it converts to how it converts to class int was see value equals to int of num. So when this string was changing into the integer, so when you're changing into the integer 25, right? So value equals to int of num, so 25, it becomes 25 like in the integer data type. So again print the value which you change it to the integer. So print the value. Here we are after we printing, print the type of the value. So when we are run it, it gives yeah, first you entered string like in 25 as a string, and after that you change it into the integer. How we can change? We can change it in the format of int of num, which was this variable, right? This variable at here and int of num. We get in the and again print the value. It will give as an integer, and the data type of the value was as an integer. Like in this format, we can convert, and after this, see this how they will like we are getting output is right, but how they were getting we are discussing. So at now, yeah. So first of all, the value of a was 10 and the value of b was 2.5. So here what he done was c equals to a plus b. Yeah, it gives the answer. But see here, a plus b, 10 plus 2.5. What is the answer? 12.5. So here now slowly the value the print c means what it will print that it will print in a float data type. When you print the type of c, it will give the same thing float. Doesn't give the integer because a is integer, but it did not give integer because when you are adding both integer and a float, it will gives like a float. For example, if you remove this 0 and add 0, then it will gives the same thing. Yeah, 12.0 and class was the data type was float. So you can ask that 10 plus 2, right? But we have to call in the Python like 2.0, not 2. We are giving the 2.0 in the float type. So when we are adding this both 10 and 2.0, we will get the 12.0. So it is in the float data type. So when you are printing the type of C, it was giving the float. So when we are adding or subtracting or multiplying also, we will get the same thing. Yeah. Multiplying, I think so we will get, because 10 into 2 20 it becomes. Let's see, 10 into 2 is 20, but still point 0 is there, because yeah, in every time plus minus divisible into anything, if you done, you get the in the form of float. One of the number is a float, then you will get float. Both are float, then also you will get the float. Both integer, then you will get integer. And you can't multiply, or you can't add two numbers like integer and string. So you can do this type of practices on both integer and float, not with string. After this, see here, yeah, he said float of x. So what is the meaning here was, float of x means if you want to change the x which was an integer to the float, so how you can change? Okay, same as previously what we done was, here the value of num was 25, which was a string, and how we converted into a like integer. So what we done was, again taking another variable value equals to int of same variable which was num there, so we entered num inside the int. So here same thing, x is num there and y here, but there was a value, so same we are doing here. X is an integer, so we are converting that integer into float. So how we are converting was, we are using the term float, but before we used string for str, int for integer for int int, and for this float full name float. So here when you run it, it will give 15.0 and class float. So successfully we converted this 15 into float. So when we are converting it, it will give zero point 0. So if you want 0.00 or 00, you have to print here, like, you know that how to print like up to these decimals. You know that, I think so. See, this is the way of doing that. If you want two decimal or three decimal, how like that. So you have to print f, and inside the bracket add this two dots like this. We already discussed in the first session how to print whether we want two decimal, up to two decimal, three decimal, four decimal. We already discussed this thing. So if you enter three and if you run it again, so it will gives that 15.000, and it is a float like that. So after that, function. So right. So we if we print these four numbers, then it gives, like, see here. Oh, I just copied it. So print integer of 50. So what is the meaning of that was, you entered a string 50 as a string, okay, because you have used inverted commas. So 50 as a string. So you have to convert the string into integer. So used int of 50. If you want to convert the integer which was 100 was given in the format of integer. So if you want to convert that integer into string, you have to mention string of 100. And here 100 was not string, 100 was a, what is that, integer. So after that, balloon, he used balloon that. See, we already discussed that if the value of true was 1, false was 0. We know that the value of true was 1, false was 0. Here print float. Here balloon of 1 means, if we want to change the value of 1 into the boolean function, what we will get? We will get true, because the value of true was 1 and the value of false was 0. We used both 0 and 1 and the boolean function was true and false. So print float 8. So we, if we want to convert this integer 8 into the float 8.0, we will get. So we will get in the format of those things. See, this 50 is in the integer type, but the down 100 was in the string type. But after that, this true. So I already said the value of true was 1 and the value of false was 0. So here when it was converting into the balloon function, however, how the string was converted into was converted same as balloon also. So for 1 and 0 we know that if you enter here 13, so what will be happen, it doesn't have a particular, yeah, true, other than false we will get true, right? So what is that false, how like where we get false, we will get at 0. If you enter 0 false, other than that everything was true, like that. So if you enter anything 90 or anything, true. But if you enter 0 false, other than 0 you can enter anything, it will be a true. But mostly the value of true they used as 1 and don't interrupt other integers. So print float of 8 means 8.0. So this is the way of converting that. So common errors was this thing. We already tried this example, right? So integer of ABC. So what we did there was the for the ABC we done that for integer of ABC. So there is no particular value for that because integer of 50 is there. Okay, integer of string 50. So when we are removing the inverted commas, 50 was the integer. So after like here also integer, but if integer and these strings will be removed, then what will be happen, like cut with each other, then what will be happen, we will get ABC. What is the value of ABC? There is no value of ABC. If you print in the string also, there is no value of ABC. Like if you want to print the ABC in the string, so you have to give the inverted commas. Otherwise, there is no value for ABC. That's why it show the value error because there is ABC is not belongs to anything. Like this ABC without this inverted commas, this ABC was belongs to nothing. Like which integer is not in the form, that float also not in the form of ABC, and string is in the form of ABC, but we have to give inverted commas for ABC, then only it was considered as a string. Otherwise this ABC was belongs to variable. Okay, this ABC becomes variable. So variable means what, it having a multiple like we can assign anything, so there is no value for that, it will show the value error. So for this conversation we already learned, but just recall it again. And here are the math functions I previously explained when I am explaining the random numbers. So I said import random because if we want to use this random functions like random int, random range, like seed and uniform, choice, and this every functions, so we have to import random, then only it will consider as a okay, we are using these random functions, so recognize it as a keywords, like that. So here if we use mathematical functions, then what will be happen, so we have to import math. When we use this import math, so when you are importing math, it's the starting thing that print math module import successfully. So this is the normal thing that without, so this is no, like after going through it, this is the functions for mathematics that see here how the functions are available, like having in the import random same as import math. There are some functions for finding the roots and power, like that. Normally we can use find the power using the double star, but see here control B. So import math, so for what is the value of this number, 64. 64 assigned to the variable number, and result equals to math dot square root. So see here math dot square root. How you have to like value, like how you can find the value for, yeah, square root of a number. So when you have to import math, okay, you have to import math, and again you have to say that square of number. This is very simple, right? Otherwise we have to give one condition that, like if without import also we can find the square root of number. How? For example a, okay, number, right? So number into, no, number power 0.5. 0.5 means 1 by 2. So If the number power 1 by 2 means what is the meaning? It is a root, right? So like that. So if I print a, so you will get the same answers for the both things, 8.0, 8.0. Okay. So yeah. So here see why we are getting in the float type because of this. We already discussed if we taking an two numbers, which was one number was an integer and another number was float. So what will be happen? Adding, subtracting, divisible, multiple, and exponential. If you do anything, you will get the float in the form of float. So that is that if you do like this with this only with this, you'll get like this. Then we having some confusion that why we are getting the 8.0. So we done the downside that this thing, because of this thing we get the point that yeah we are doing with a 0.5 is a float. So we are doing integer and float. So we will get the output as a like out float. So for example, if you want a operator that which if we take an integer and a float, but we get in a integer form, use this function which was double slash. If you use this function, okay, sorry, that function is not used for that thing because like when 1 by 2, okay, 1 by 2, so in that cases like that we use, but here no, we can't. If you use that thing also we get the same thing, so don't use that. See here, so so we get the in the float form. If you want it as an integer form, just add int in the before you're printing, like int of means converting the result, like the result is in the form float, so you are converting that float into integer. You will get 8. Same thing do here, int of, so when you run it you will get both as 8, so you are converting the float into integer, that's all. Like this you will get the answers. So after this, see, this is the function that you know that random dot random int, like that math dot square root. Remember this function square root. If you want to use for finding the square root, you have to do like this, sqrt, square root of number. For if they will say import math, okay, if they will say use the mathematical functions and find the square root of the number, then only you have to use this function. Otherwise you can go with like this, because other than these three lines we can go with the, sorry, these four lines we can go with the three lines only. So there is no need of importing math and again remember these functions regarding this math functions. So here this is if you need like in the question they mentioned whether you have to go with this mathematical functions and import math, then only you have to use this. Otherwise also we can use, but somehow we will get them hidden touch cases will did not pass. So okay, leave it. You can go with the below code. Okay. So after this square root, after that I will say I already said that power. So how we are going to find the power? Normally these every function we are having an alternative without this import math, but somehow they were if they want to say like for bulky, okay, like yeah bulkies like that we can both are give you the same thing, but it seems like good going in a clean process, but that will give in a we are assigned to the another variable like that something. So don't worry about that. See here, when if you did not write the first line which was import math, you did not get the what is the well like here, right? But power, right? See, if you run it, it will show that what is it doesn't understand the word oh math. So name math is not defined. Okay, okay. It's see the front, right? This it doesn't understand the math. So that is the reason you have to import math. Import here. have to be write p import math. After that, which was power. Okay, if you want power, this is the base, this is the exponent. Beforely, here see the base was 2, the exponent was 5, means 2 power 5, means 2 star star 5. Okay, what is the 2 star star 5 was? Like this 32.0. And yeah, so you can see here that, see here when we use this bow, we get 32.0 in a float form. But when we are going with this a equals to base power exponent, we get in the integer form. So here we have to conclude one thing, that the functions which was like this power, square root and cell is every function in the mathematics. Okay, math, in math functions. So they're designed as for this our input, like they designed for our input, but they have to give output as a float. They designed like that. Okay, we cannot do anything. They're designed as for float outputs, not an integer outputs. And here see, when we use a equals to base into exponent, sorry, base power exponent, so we get 32. So both are 32s, but we getting in the float, and we here we get in the normal type because of the functions in math functions. So the design like that, for getting the output as float. And so that for if you want to print for power, so you can go with this function math dot power of, here you have to give base, here you have to give exponent. Make sure here you have to give base and exponent here, so like that. And after that, say, see for this mathematical, like for this power and square root only, they are giving like in float type. Other than this sail and floor, which we are, if we give float, then they are giving in integer, because floor means which the before integer. Okay, uh 5.9, if we give 5.9, what is the before integer of the 5.9? 5. What is the after integer immediately? Okay, after that integer was 6, like that. Side means 6, floor means 5. Like you can see, there is a room. Okay, is I am in a room, so in front of me there is a wall. 5, there is a feet from 5 to 6. Okay, like that. So floor means down, like where my legs are there. Sail means like roof. Okay, you can call it a roof. So 6. So if we go down, 5 will occur. If we I will go up, 6 will occur, like that. So these functions will work like that. So it will say that before, yeah, before integer, after integer, these functions work like that. See, the thing was that is everything the this thing is about here, the function, how they made, like these functions are made for first two functions. If we enter integer, but we are getting float, but now we are getting the giving the float, but we are getting integer. So the making, like making the function like that. So the working model of the function is that. So we cannot change that, we cannot do anything here. So import math value is 5.9. So it will say that before integer. Floor means the before number 5, like that. So if you want to give point, yeah, so it will give 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So yeah, floor and sale. Okay. If you factorial, this is also an thing that we can use factorial. We can find the factorial. Other than that, we know that fact we can find factorial using this while loop. I think so. Yeah, while loop. Okay, we can't, right? Yeah. So we can use while loop in our normal, but import math, you just directly write the factorial. And before, without the importing math, if you write factorial, and this code will treat it factorial as a variable. But here, when we are import math, the factorial treat as a not a variable. It treat a factorial as a keyword. Okay. it have to be having a reserved, it is a reserved word, it having some function, like it having some working model in it. So when we import math, number equals to 5. So math dot factorial, which for which number you have want to calculate the factorial, just insert the value inside the factorial. So print math dot factorial number. So when you print it, okay, what? Okay, okay. There is no another bracket, right? So when we run it, it will gives 120. If you print 10 and again you run it, sorry, okay, again run it, you will get the factorial of 10 like that. So this is the way of finding that import math. See, we just cleared in a 3 lines of code, like that. So for some, yeah, for some questions, there is, like, we can use the other thing, like for finding the square root, the previous method is perfect. For finding the factorial, this method is for perfect to remember and as well as to execute. So in 3 lines we completed the factorial, like importing the math. So this is like some questions, the previous methods are good. For some questions, this import math functions are good, like that. So after that, for when we are going into this GCD, I think greatest common divisor. GCD means the greatest common divisor. So which number will divide the both A and B, and that too, it was the highest number which was divisible, divide the both numbers. So 48, 18. So which number was it will be? 18, right? So maybe 6. Yeah, it may be 6, I think so. 9, no, 9 did not. 3 also calculated, but it want greatest, not least. So greatest, least means 1. 1 will divide both of that, and it was the least number which divides the both numbers. So that's why GCD. If we want GCD, so it will give 6, I think. 6. So here for this, you can write int of input of, sorry, enter number. Same as here, just copy. When you run it, it will ask the inputs. So I want to give 37, 47, 1. See, this is the greatest here because there is no number, like having the common divisor for that, and having only 1. Again, you run it, 90, 60, 30 will be highest. Yeah, 30 will divide the both 60 and 90, and 6, 3, 6, 10. These also divide, but these are least numbers. Like that, having 30 is greatest, right? So it considered 30, and after that, trigonometric functions. So yeah, these trigonometric functions, see some like it having different types in it, and after when we are going to doing these examples, right, then we will get, I will complete this everything in detailed manner with the examples. Just for now, we are doing some examples, like, yeah, not examples, getting the information about the functions. So here, see, import math, angle equals to math dot radians of 30. What is the 30, right? So in sign, inside the sign, we can insert only radians in the form of radians. So yeah, we can keep it. So here, we can go with the sign values. So we have to insert in the form of radians. So given that 30 degrees, right? So convert this at 30 degrees into sine. Say there is a some different types, like if they given 30 degrees, so you have to convert 30 degrees into radians, and radians into 30 degrees by For example, here they did not mention the things, but I will explain in coming examples. But see here, if you want this 30 is in a degree form, okay? You know that cos 30 degrees and sin 30 degrees, tan 30 degrees. If we enter these 30 degrees, we didn't get yeah, 30 degrees. So here the question was convert the 30 degrees into radians and after that do with the sine cos tan. So here the degree was 30. So we are converting that degree into the radians. So that is the angle. Okay. Math dot radians of 30. So when we are converting, this is the form of converting. So previously we are converting only this integer to string, string to integer, like float to integer, integer to float, like that. But when we are coming to the here, see angle equals to math dot radian of 30. So means these 30 degrees was converting into the radians. If you want to see the 30 degrees was converted into radians, print angle. So when you run it, 0.5235 is the value of angle. Okay, means the 30 degrees, when we converted the 30 degrees into the radians, we will get 0.52. So the same 0.52 we are inserting into the sine cos tan, and we will get 0.4, 0.8, 0.5, like that for radians. For suppose if you remove this thing, yeah, and again print that minus 0.98, minus 6.40, like that. So the difference here, the 30 was having an angle. Okay, so it considered as a degree, not a degree, I think. So here in mathematics, if you enter the direct angle, which was 30, right? So if you want to directly this 30 degrees as an angle, if you want to insert into the sine cos tan, but it did not work here. In Python we have to convert, if they given degrees we have to convert from degrees to radians, how we before done. And if you would forcefully insert the angle 30 into the sine cos tan, it was considered the 30 as radian. How we get, before the radian was 0.51, right? Same as now the radian was 30. So this is not degree. It was sine and cos tan. They will consider this 30 as not degree. It considered as radians. So it was giving that minus 0.9, 0.15, minus 6, like that. So for example, if you give the angle, so you again, yeah, here that the 30 degrees was converting into the radians. So for example, if you give here 90, so here the 90 was converted into radians. Sorry, that radians was inserted into sine cos tan. Sine is 1, cos is 6.12, like that. Tan was 1.633. So this is the form of getting that. So yeah, it goes up to E. See here, it goes up to E. Okay, so like that. For this trigonometric, there are many things. If when the questions came, so I will explain more detailedly. So presently we are going with logarithmic function. Okay, math dot log of 10, math dot log 10 of 1000. So here, yeah, base 10 log was 3, natural log was 2.30. So it was showing that the difference between a natural log and the base 10 log. Here and in second question we mentioned that math dot log 10. So for this, copy it, and if we go with it, we will discuss it after this. So here also just give the same 1000. Okay, go with it. Okay, it have to be 10 here. It has a base, so log base 10. Okay, something, yeah, Okay, import math. Sorry, import math. Otherwise, it did not understand what is the math was. Import. When you run it both, so you will get 6.9077. So here 3.0. With the base 10, we will get the 3. A natural log was gives 6 point. The difference between a natural log, it was just showing that the function log. So here the log 1000 with the base 10, we will get 3. We all know that how the log works. See here, for example, log 10 equals to 1000. So how it will be works, right? So it will works 10 to the power x equals to 1000. Okay, 10 to the power x equals to 1000 means you have to find this value. So then you will get this value, like, yeah, 10 to the power of x equals to 1000. So what is the value of x? The value of x was 3 here, because 10 to the power of 3, right? Like that. Yeah. No, we did not do like this, right? So we do like this 10 power 1000 is equals to x. But here, this is what I am saying about this at outside, like in mathematics. Okay, in mathematics, how we done was we will do log 10 of x equals to 1000. So how it works, like this thing. But here, how it will be sees, right? Like, if you want to write same these thing into the mathematical form, how you can write? So I will write the same thing with this is, I will show the difference between the both. If you want write these term like this, log 10, like in bracket, no, they did not give bracket, but for our thing 1000. So same thing is that, right? 1000 equals to. So here we don't know the value of here. What is the value of here? We don't know. So we are finding that x. So when we go with like this, what will happen? This 10 is 10 power 1000 equals to x. Same thing. 10 power x equals to 1000. 10 power x equals to this 1000. This 1000 is this, and this 10 here. This is how it looks like here. But we can't write this 10 at base, right? In code we cannot write like that. So that's why they design like this. They done bracket because they want to say that there is a base 10, and inside that the number was 1000. So which exponential we will get the value 1000. For 3, the value of x 3, then we will get the answer. We can't write like this is a base 10, so that's why they write like this, and they work like this. 10 power x equals to 1000. So what is the x? 3. So 3 here. The value of log 10 of 1000 was 3, like this. And here is the mathematical consonants. So math dot pi, value of pi, like that. So math dot pi, if you want to give the values of the pi, so if you want to like, yeah, if you area of the circle, what you have to do for area of the circle? The area of the circle was pi r square. So what you do in that situations? So you have to do math dot pi. So you can't use the pi as directly. So if you want to use the pi directly, you want to do that import math, and after that you have to do 2 into means how we done into with the star. So 2 star math dot pi star. What is the r will be given as an input, right? So r power 2 powers 2, because r square, right? So like that. For example, see here, mathematical, we can remember like that. So now if you want to find the area, so what will be do was a equals to some, sorry, r equals to some number, random number, 4. So the radius of the circle was 4. This is the variable which shows the value of the area. Like, sorry, yeah, the result for the area. So what is how you do area was 2 into means star math dot pi. This is how you have to denote math dot pi instead of pi. So again into what is the r? R, right? So r square. When you run, sorry, you have to print right first. Print C. So if you run it again, 100. Okay, approx 100. 2 pi r square. What is the r square? The r square was, yeah. If you want to see the value of pi, print math dot pi. So when you run it, 3.14. We got the same thing. What is the value of pi? 22 by 7. 3.14. Same thing. So 2 into 4 square is 16. 16 to is a 32. 32 into 3. Randomly 98. So that 0.14 into this 16. So we will get approx like that. So yeah, this is the final answer for that. So 100.53. This is how we can find the area of the circle with the 4 lines. Don't include this, just we can go with the 4 lines. And inside is like function def area of circle. We can also do like same. We want only the value of r, but when we are calculating the area of the rectangle or other things, we want the more things. But here just we need this r. Okay, so this is the code for that. See import math, the value of pi equals to math dot pi, math dot e, math dot tau, like that. So just finding that 2 pi. Okay, 2 pi tau and math dot like infinity, positive infinity, math dot none, not a number. Okay, just it doesn't give like, let's see what it will be gives whether we print math dot not a number. It will give the not a number. If you print here e, it will give the value of e. The value of e is approx 2.71 and the value of tau, which was double to the pi. Okay, tau 6.28, same as double to the value of pi. So again, remove the tau and add the what is this another thing that, yeah, infinite, positive infinite, inf. INF. It will show that you will get the infinite. It is the symbol for that. So this is the way of getting that. And after this, yeah, common errors. These are the common errors which you will do. That import math, print math that square root. See here, you will write the whole word square root, but don't do that. The function of the square root was sqrt, not root. So has no attribute square root. So it will show that attribute error and use math.sqrt. So he in this chapter, this is the summary that these are the functions you have to remember. And math.py, math.d is mostly we will use this both things, not other things. And yeah, that's all for this math functions. This is the, yeah, this is the information. Okay, here is that adding new functions. See here, insert the parameters. Okay, return value. So see here, if you want here you have to give the arguments. Like these are all called parameters, so don't worry about that. Which you give an argument side. So same arguments like value. If you give argument as a value, so return value like that. This is the syntax. He was saying that this is a basic syntax you have to follow, And after that, see here, we already done with it. Welcome to Python. Welcome. When it call, it will print because we here used the keyword print. And after that, function and parameters. So here def greet. So same thing. Yeah, same thing with parameters. Without parameters, this is the thing. With parameters, this is works like this. And after this, a comma b, return a plus b, result equals to like that. We already done this, and we also done this. See here, local variable. You are saying that local variable means what is that was. This local variable will works up to here only. You can't go further. Okay, if you can't print this is in another function, it doesn't work at there. It doesn't know what is the value of x because you given in before function, not now. Okay, so it did not recognize the value of the function. So here is the global variable. So here x equal to 100, which was given before the like not inside the function, before the function. So after when we function executed that def show print x. So what is the value of x? You given already at the starting. So it is the difference between a global and local. Local will give inside the function and it will work set there only. It doesn't go if you done another thing. Yeah, I already showed to you. So same thing will is happening when show means it prints the x. What is the x value? It is here, which was global. So scope that like variable versus global. Local variable exists only inside a function. It exists only inside a function. When it comes to the out, like we cannot we cannot define it. But global variable are accessible throughout the program. You will programming like done the code in 41 pages and you will write this local variable at the first line. So throughout the program, it will know the value of x. So that is the difference between global and local. And the common error was these two dots I already said to you. So there is nothing in it. Like we already discussed about this global and local. So there is not any more like this. Just we are finding the difference between writing this x equal to 10 before that and like before the function, after the function. That is the difference. Like inside the function, outside the function. A global means we are writing the same value at outside the function like that. So yeah. So here are the basic Python parameters and arguments. So here you can see that positional arguments. So what is the position arguments? See here the position of a and B. Here the A and B, like the already said, the in the place of in the position of A and B, the 10 and 20 will occur. So this is like the positional arguments, the things that which the arguments which we used inside a function, it will replaced by another values, a particular values or particular input which we given. So it's called positional arguments. The example demonstrates how this type of arguments is passed through to a function. So here positional arguments means the position of a argument which we used inside a function, where we used, okay, where we used inside a function, it will be replaced by these inputs. So it will show that same thing. Keyword arguments. So keyword arguments means, see here, name, age, print name and age. If you just call the function, it will print the name comma age. So giving gap name, giving gap age, like it prints like that. So now we will see this thing that. So now see here, def student. Student was a function name, and when we are going with it, see here, name comma age. So print name comma age. So when you're just calling it is enough for printing the name comma age. So name comma age, how it will be printed, like name giving a age. So here see, we given shifted the things that name here, age equals to 18, name equals to Rohit. So what will be happen when you run it? So Rohit comma 18. You give any type, but you like if you remove this thing and remove this thing, what will be happen? It will assumes name as 18, Rohit as age. Okay. because we did not give age as a int, name as a input. So how it will be finds whether the given variables are integers or float or string. So it will things like the position which we given 18, right? So name equals to 18, age equals to Rohit. So you have to be either print this here and this here, otherwise you have to assign to it like giving age. So when you are giving the age, so it was saying that the value of age was the value of age was 18. The value of name, like the name of the person, the name of the student was Rohit. The age of the student was 18. So here, if you done like this, because you are writing age here, name here, it did not show any impact because it was two arguments. It's not positional argument, it was keyword argument that which word you used inside the students. So if you change it, then no problem. But when you have changed it, it will assume the position which it was. If you didn't write these keywords, okay, this age and name, the 18 it will consider as a position. We know that before time. See here, here, they did not write A equals to 10, B equals to 20. They write directly 10 and 20. So this is called positional argument, which the position of A will occur by 10, will the position of B will replaced by 20. So same as here, but here they mentioned that age equals to 18, name equals to Rohit. So how can name will, I mean 18 will come in place of name? No, right? So if you write in reverse manner, there is no problem with it. The age will takes the value 18. The name will takes the value Rohit, and it will print name comma age. If you didn't write this thing like age and name here, so what it will be do was it will be goes to the positional argument. If you didn't write this age and name, it will goes to the positional argument. So what positional argument will do? The 18 will replaced by name. This Rohit will replaced by age. So the position argument, they don't know anything. They just do by replacing the arguments in the positions, exact positions. But when you write this keyword argument, so what it will do was it will replace the age only, not name. Okay, if you write the position, but you assign to age, so that is the reason why we get again Rohit and 18, not 18 and Rohit. How this type of argument is passed to the function like that. So default parameter means name equals to guest. See, previously here we assigned some variables, but see here he already assigned the uh, variable to the variable the value inside the function only. So there is no need of taking another input. So here you can see that greet name. Previously we done with greet was greet name print hello name. So what we done there was just calling the greet. So what will be happen? There is one position for greet. You have to give an input for that name. So at that time we giving. But here you can see he given already a value. So there is no need of taking another value. If you run it, what will be happen? Hello guest. So here you can see that hello guest will occur at the place of name because we have to just call it. When we are calling it, it will print the hello name. So we did not give the any input for name, but here already having the input for name. What is that name? Guest. So default like it already having a value. If you did not give, then it will replace the value. Otherwise, it will going with the same value. If you run it multiple times, it will gives the hello guest only because you given a default as name guest. So when you call it again and again, it will says that the value of name was guest. The value of name was guest. So if you call it yeah call it again with the some like Rohit. Okay, now run it. What will be happen? Hello guest. This hello guest came from calling greet. So this hello Rohit came from calling greet with input Rohit. So if you want to give, if you want to change the name, so you can give the input, so it will be changes automatically. Otherwise, if you call without any input, there is also no problem with it. There is already having a default name for name, that is guest. So for example, if I remove this, so when I will run it, it will says there is a one position. Yeah, grid missing one required positional argument name. So here there is a position for yeah, there is a argument position that name, but you did not inserted any thing here. So that mm, yeah, if you do like this, name equals to guest. It already having a name, so there is no need of giving a extra input. So when you run it, like when you call it, it will says that hello guest. But if you want to change the name, guest is not good. So if you want to change, you know the name of guest who is Rohit. So greet giving the input as Rohit for the name. So print hello name, hello Rohit, like that. If you run it again, then you will get hello guest, hello Rohit, like that. This is how your default parameters work, and hello guest, hello Ria, like that. So the star, yeah, the star is, now we will see how the star arguments are works. See here, def total numbers. Okay, total is not a keyword. We can write there t also, t o t a l, anything we can write there. Instead of total we can write anything there. So don't think it was a keyword. So def total star numbers. So when you are mentioning the star to the numbers, so print sum. This is the functions are, some are there, so they will come afterwards, so don't worry about that. Some, and yeah, maybe we will see the functions also. So print sum. Okay, print sum of numbers. So what it will do was the values of numbers which you will give, it will add the add those numbers. So there is no for loop here, but it will consider each and every number. So how it works, see here, how many arguments is there? Only one argument. That too, numbers is the argument here. How? Without star. If you run it, it will say that only one position. Total takes only one position, but you inserted four. Okay, but you given that four inputs for the total function. But what the function will do? It will says no, I can't carry four inputs, like four arguments. I'm having only one argument. If you want, you can assign that four. So what it will be happen like this. So here you have to add a star. So what will be happen for that? So now run it 100. So how we get run 100? So like here the total star, the star works like you can insert any number of, like many any number of inputs. Like here we insert 10, you can 3, 10, 11, like that. Here we done with 4, but you can give input like 20, 30, like that. So it will consider every one is after one another and print sum of. So how many numbers inside the, like how many arguments are there? Here the number of arguments, and every value of this 10 belongs to numbers, 20 belongs to numbers, 30 belongs to numbers, 40 belongs to numbers. Okay, for every value, like every 10, 20, 30 belongs to numbers only, number argument, but it considers as it differently. And when you done with sum of, so it will add 10, 20, 30, 40, like that. If you want to take multiple inputs, so how you will take, here you will do a comma b comma c comma d comma. If you want to take 20 inputs, so how you can do, here you have to write one from 1 to, sorry, from a to b, I mean something like x y, like that. And after that, what you will do, print a sum of every number, like a comma b comma c comma d comma, like that. So it will sum the it will add the every number which you entered inside the that. So that is so difficult thing, okay, right? So it was a difficult thing. So sometimes like that. So how you can find that was total star. If we when we add star, there is no limit for that, and there is no limit for that, and it will consider everything, each and everything with the comma, right? See here inside the sum, how we can add two numbers, sum of a comma b. This is the format of finding that. But when you enter only a, how it will be? It will only one element, but numbers. So here how it will works, right? 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40. It represents like this. Okay. When you add numbers here, what are the numbers? The numbers means 10, 20, 30, 40. Right? So the values will divide in the commas and it will goes here. It will go like this, and for the here numbers. Okay. When you run it, it will give the 100. Like that, this star argument will works. You can insert multiple inputs inside it. So mix of parameters. You can give both. See here, you can give both. Okay, you can give both. Wait. Okay, sorry. Okay, here you can give both. I can explain here only. See, previously we done that name equals to guest. So we can change the name from guest, or we can remains guest as same as that. So here you can see that def in info, the name of the function was info. So name of the, okay, here the name was not a default parameter. We have to give input compulsory for the name. If you didn't give, like if you give in a empty brackets, then it will show some error. So for example, I will do this in a compiler. Okay, so right. So here when we go with this def info, okay. So here when I enter Rohit, so it here the minimum required inputs are one. The maximum you can give inputs as two. Because why this was happening was, if you give one, it will consider as name. If you give two, it will consider first one as name, second one as course. For example, I will take another info of same Rohit, comma, course was, let's take, yeah, inward commas, light. When you run it, Rohit Python, Rohit light. Where this Python was came from here. See, this prints name minus course, name minus course. So here this Python is came from this course. If you didn't give any name, like if you give only one name, that name will consider as name. If you give the two names, the first name will consider as, it will treat like a positional argument, that this first will goes at name, this second value will goes at course. Like that it works. So this is how it will works. This is how it works. And see, yeah, after this common errors, yeah, common errors, when we are doing this coding, we I will saying that every time the common error we will get like this, or we will get in the form of this. See, yeah, there is two positions required, like yeah, it have to be give two inputs, but here given only one input, so it will show the error, type error, like that. So this is yeah, this is of finding that. And after this, and it is the last thing that from for this unit, the concepts. Okay, this is all concepts, and I just going in a flow. So I did not expand sums in the unit 3. So now I am going to this is the like explain the last topic for unit 3. After this we will go with the different types of sums, and with the def function there is many types with that. And because inside the def we can use for, while, if we are keeping the conditions inside it, and we are saying calling and or like that. So before we going that for that, so we just do we go with this concept that recursion. So what is recursion? Recursion is the technique in which a function calls itself to solve a problem. Every recursion function must have a base case to stop recursion. So recursion also, it's not, it's like a loop. Okay, it's like a loop, but loop is, how it works. It automatically goes like forming a loop. Okay, in loop functions like while loop, for loop, it is a loop because of it automatically takes for first zero start with, if I start initially give some value, then it will runs with that value, and after automatically it will getting increment, or for loop it will automatically gets +1 for that, giving the range and like that. But in this recursion is same as loop, but it not like taking automatically if we done increment, there is no need, they it doesn't work for everything. Like for while loop we do increment for uh, like going forward in a loop. So for loop we giving the range, and we are going in a further in a for loop, like loop. So for the recursion also we are doing like, see here, same, it seems like same, like when we are doing this def function, it also seems like same as def function. See for example, def, okay, def countdown. You can write anything here. There is no need that you have to write only countdown. See, when I export it, so see here. Oh, yeah. See here, def. So what is the like def countdown? Countdown was the name of the function. So here n was argument. So if n equal to 0, okay, print done. Else print n, countdown is n minus 1. So what here was going that first, what he done, see I am again telling this function doesn't run first. First it will see this thing, and after what was written here, it will consider that thing first of all, and after it will go to the function, and it will take the value which you entered inside the function. So at starting it will go here, after seeing the def it will go here, countdown 5. So where is this countdown 5? Here, def countdown 5. So it will replace the function, sorry, it will replace the argument n with the 5. So here the value of n was 5. So replace, this is a positional argument. So it will replace the whole n to the 5. So here if 5 equal to 0, no, condition fails. So what will be happen? Condition fails. So n is not equal to 0. Not n was not equals to 0. So it will choose the else part, because if part was get failed. So when it was going to the else part, print n means it will print a, sorry, 5. After printing 5, there is another line, the seventh line. Watch carefully. Count down n minus 1. So what is that meaning? Countdown n minus 1 means when it was going here, it not saying print countdown n minus 1. It was saying countdown n minus 1. Means it was calling it. Okay. It was like how we call countdown 5. Same as countdown n minus 1. What is the value of n here? Here, and what is the value of n? 5. Here the value of n was 5. So same as here, countdown 5 minus 1. What is the countdown 5 minus 1? 4. So it will choose 4. And again, where is this countdown? Here. So go here. So what is that? Countdown 4. What is the so replace the n by 4. So 4 is equal to 0. No, false. So what will be happen? it choose the else part. Print n. What is the n here? Here already n minus 1 completed na. So what will be happen? N minus 1 4. So here the new n was 4 here because we are completed with this function. We are completed with this calling. He called this function, we completed with it. So we are doing for this function. He called again countdown n minus 1. So what is the n now? 4. So 4. 4 here. So what will be happen was here 4 4. So here the new n was 4. After that countdown n minus 1 again he was calling it. What he was calling? N minus 1 means 4 minus 1. What is that? 3. So countdown 3. So countdown 3. What is the countdown 3? What is the countdown? Yeah, here. It is a function name. Means it is a function name and n means 3. Why? Because we are the new value of n was 4. So n minus 1 3. So countdown 3. Like that it becomes countdown 1 up to 1. So after that, countdown 1 minus 1. What will be happen? 0. So countdown 0. So here you have to think that countdown 0. So where is the countdown? Here. Go again here. 0. So 0 equals 0. Yeah. Done. We're done with it. Like 0 equal to 0, condition pass. So it doesn't go to the else part. It will choose the if part. What is the if part? Print done. So it prints the done. Means it's like a doing like a loop, but it calling itself again and again and again because of yeah, it calling it function again and again and again, and it was doing like a loop. But what is the condition? Like if we want to come from loop, we have to give one condition, same as it having the base thing that if n equal to 0, then print done. But if you do one thing, that if you return the same thing at here, okay, the same thing at here, what will be happen? If you print, see, when before I have to run, I will get 5 4 3 2 1. But I did not get this 0 because when the countdown 1 minus 1 0 again goes here. What is that? Because why we are going there? Because it was calling it. If you return the same thing at here, then also same thing you will get. Calling is in everywhere. It is inside the if, inside the else, inside the for loop, is nothing like that. So if you call that, you have to run it. Okay. If you print that, you have to run it. So here they called inside the else. So you can't leave it, right? You have to go for that. So when you're going for that, 1 minus 1 up to n become 1, n minus 1 after 0. Yeah, now the new value of n was 0. 0 equal to 0, print done. There is nothing in. So when we done here, right? So if we, okay, sorry. Yeah, if you're done with this, if whether the condition n equal to 0 or n is not equal to 0, but the loop still runs, it will give infinite. See, you're saying that, okay, okay, this have to be not at here because yeah, 5 see 5 4 3 2 1 done. Minus 1 minus 2 and so on infinity. Why infinity? Because if whether it will choose if it whether it will choose else, you are doing the same thing. Countdown n minus 1. What is that countdown n minus 1? Printing n which was n minus 1. So here 0 0 minus 1. Here this 0 minus 1, it becomes minus 1. Where is this countdown? Here again go to the function and run the function like that. It was works like that. It seems to be a loop, but inside the loop it will works automatically as a loop, but at here we have to call it again and again, like itself. We did not call it again and again. Itself it calling the again and again because you printed the countdown, you printed the function inside the same function. You're getting the point, right? You printed the you calling the function inside the function. So how many times this function runs, that times these functions also run. So it will goes to infinity. So you have to give one condition that what is that condition was n becomes 0, stop the printing. Means you don't want to write any break or continue here because this is not a loop. Okay. We are calling the function again and again, like calling the function itself. So if we don't write at here, so it doesn't call, right? Inside the if, there is no calling the function. But inside the else, there is calling the function. So when this statement gets true, there is no need of calling the function again. So it will stop the running. So it done, completed. So this is how a recursion works. This is called a recursion. The function which was called itself again and again until we give some condition like a base condition. This is the base condition here. Okay, which when it will be get passed, then only it will be stopped. Otherwise, it did not stop there. And until and unless we before see that, we will get infinity loop. This is a basic introduction about this recursion. And after that, for factorial also, we can use this recursion for factorial. See here, I will give this as an example. Okay, here the factorial of n. So here the name of the function was factorial. So leave that. So when we are going inside the function, if n equal to 0. So no, the n is not equal to 0 because we given the input as 5, right? So when we are going with 5, so print factorial 5. Here we done return, so we have to give print here. So print factorial 5. So what will be happen now? So see here factorial 5. So what will be happen was 5 here same this function where it is function inside the def. Okay, go there. When we are going there, what is the value of n? 5, which was we are given as input. So when it given as input, if n equal to 0, if n equal to 0, return 1. Okay, otherwise return n into factorial n minus 1. So here see inside the function. Okay, inside the function which was named as factorial of n, inside this function again he repeating the calling function. You getting the point, right? So inside the function he calling again itself his function. So what it will be prints, right? It will goes again and again like here return n. He not saying the to print it because if you print you will get the minimum like same like this for 1 for 4 you will get here like 120 like that you will get. So he done return there. Why? Because when this 5 works like here, when you print return here, so it works like see the first line was return n into sorry factorial of, so let's be fact. Okay, remove here also. Okay, remove here. Okay, let's call something face or something. Okay, so n into face of fact anything face of n minus 1. This is the first line. And again, for this thing, we want some value, right? So what will be happen was n into what is the value of phase n minus 1. So where is this function? Here. So what is the replace n by n minus 1? Okay. What is the value of n? 5. So the value of n was 5. 5 into here 5 minus 1, 4. So here the value is 4. 4 is equal to 0? No, no way. 4 is not equal to 0. So it will choose here. What is here? Return n into factorial of n minus 1. So the value of this factorial of n minus 1 is n into factorial n minus 1. So what is the value of this was? What is the value of n? 4. Where? Here. Because when we call this, we get this thing. So 4 into FAC of 4 minus 1. Here, what is the value of n? 5, right? So it is 5 minus 1. Okay, you are getting the point, right? So 5. And after this, we want the value of this thing. So if we want the value of that thing, so again, same 5 into 4 into what is the value of this? 4 minus 1, 3. Okay. So here, phase 3. If n is 3, 3 is equal to 0? No, no way. So we choose this downside return. What is that? A return n into I mean, phase of n minus 1. So return the same thing. What is that? What is the value of n here? 3. Because 4 minus 1, 3. 3 into FAC of 3 minus 1. So here we need the value of phase 3 minus 1. So what is that? 2. So here again print that 5 into 4 into 3 into what is the value of phase 2? So 2 is not equal to 0. When we are going here, 2. 2 into FAC of 2 minus 1. So here, so what is the phase 1? 1 is not equal to 0. So again print the same thing that which was here. Control C. Okay. What is the value of this? Print n. What is the n here? 1. Because 2 minus 1 is 1. Do the same thing. 1 into phase, I mean, yeah, of n minus 1 minus 1. So here, what is the 1 minus 1 here? The 1 minus 1 was 0. Now, see, if n equal to 0, so return 0. So this is how we get that 1 star. What is the value of 1 minus 1? 0. If n equal to 0, yeah, n equal to 0 because 1 minus 1 is 0. N equal to 0. Return 1. So return 1. So this is have to be print. This just we return this. This have to be print. We use this print. So this fact means this FAC 5 was works like this because if you print not print you use return, so it will like this n becomes remaining same and again coming here for finding this value because you done return right not print. So return means like you are finding the value again, you are getting another variable, you are again finding the value, another variable, finding the value, another variable, finding the value, another variable. At the last you get the thing that 4 5 4 3 2 1 1. So what is the answer now? The answer was 5 4 is 20, 23 is 60, 62 is 120. The final answer was back 120. Run it 120. So how it was working is, see, when it was written right, so what it will be do was it will do finding first it was finding the value of this thing. You can print, you can use print also, no problem. But if it have to print, it have to be know the value of this thing, right? Before time what we done was this same written and at here. Okay, see here in before question print and counter n minus 1, we printed it and again we calling it, but here we both are written only, but and the both in only one place like in one line one return. So when we use this one return, so what is that meaning was n into this function. So you have to find the value of FAC n minus 1 because you are finding this right, printing it. So for the printing, you have to find the value of this. So when we are going to find the value, we will nearly get 5 or 6 lines for explaining how it works. So it works like that. We can, yeah, it works like that. So 5 into, because 5, right? So first 5 into up to 0. When it becomes 0, it written 1 simply. So this is how 5 4 3. We are finding the value again. We are getting another variable again, another variable again, another variable again, another variable. Lastly, we get the value that in integer. So finally, we did that. Okay. So now this completed. So this is how a recursion works. So before time and now recursion works. Given an example. So here there is another example that he used for loop and if loop inside the def function. So yeah, right. This is a common error. Listen. These are all came in list. Okay, so when list came, we will discuss at there. Okay, after this unit we will get the lists, so no, don't worry about that. We will discuss about at here for the reverse of a string and how to reverse, how to indexing, everything we will learn at there. So for now we will skip this question and we don't going with this question. For sum of n natural numbers, same for in loop how it works. And here also it will work like that. It works like that. See, when we compile it, I will say how it will be works. Control V. So we want the total is a function name. So we want that first and natural numbers. Okay, first and natural numbers. So sum of the first and natural numbers. So what he did was same as how we done in loop. So here n plus total of n minus 1. So what he here going was, see, what is the first value of n? 5 we given, right? So 5 is equal to 1? No, 5 is not equal to 1. So return 5 plus total n minus 1. So what is the total n minus 1? The value of total n minus 1 is 4. So again we are going to find the value of total 4. So when we are going to find the value of total 4, so what is the value of total 4? So the value of total 4 was total 4. What is the value of total 4? 4 is equal to 1? No, 4 is not equal to 1. So go to here. What is that? N. What is the n? 4 plus n minus 1. Total n minus 1. What is the total n minus 1? 4 minus 1, 3. And again we are going to find the uh, variable total of 3, like this function, about this function. So what is the total 3 here? 3 is equal to 1? No, 3 is not equal to 1. So return 3 plus total 2. So return 3 plus total. So total 2. So so after this we have to find the value of total 2. So what is the total value of total 2? So here 2, the value of n was 2. 2 is equal to 1? No, 2 is not equal to 1. So return 2 plus total 2 minus 1. So same as like here 2 plus total 1. So finally we reached our condition that total 1 here. If 1 is equal to 1, yeah, 1 is equal to 1. So return 1. So here the value of total 1 is 1. So 1. So what is the answer? 5, 4, 9, 9, 3, 12, 12, 2, 14, 14, 1, 15. So the answer was 15. So first of all, we have to remove it. Otherwise, it will assumes like we are calling the function 15. So this is how the recursion works like. It's like a seems like a loop. How we done like in some cases how we done with the help of loop we are finding the different types, like, right? So we are using conditions inside a loop and finding different questions for different questions. So same as that questions we can use both this thing also. We can't find with if else. Yeah, for factory of a number we can't use if else. We use either while loop or for loop. But see here, when we are coming to the here function, same function also we can find the factorial with the help of recursion. So this is how a recursion works. And after this there is a one question left before that, for loop. I want to say it later, but let's go with it. Means, yeah. So you can see here the name of the function was Fibonacci. Yeah, Fibonacci. So the n we have to take one input compulsory. Input means like the argument n, the value of argument. We have to take one thing compulsory. So after that, what we are going to do was if n is less than equal to 1. For example, n will be when n is equal to 1 or less than 1, we have to stop that. So here you can see that the n will start from 0. There is no problem with it. So at the starting, see here, there is two things set here. He did not use for loop inside the def function, outside the def function, because of we want every number in a different like different places. See here. Uh, For example, range 8. What is the meaning of range 8? It starts from 0 and ends at 7, right? So how it works? So for the range I in range 0. So we have to iterate, like we have to do one iteration. So when we are running the code inside the for loop, so what have to be going done, right? See, print Fibonacci I and means like after the printing give some gap for it. So don't worry about that. See here first, leave this thing Fibonacci I. So what is Fibonacci I? Here what is the value of I in range 8. So the first value of I was 0. The first value of I was 0. For the first value of I was 0, what is the Fibonacci I? So Fibonacci is 0. So when it's 0, n is less than or equals to 1. Yeah, true. N is less than or equals to 1. Yeah, true. Return n. You already print here. Here you done return. So the value of n will printed. So how it will be printed? For I equal to 0, it prints return n. What is the n? N was 0. So it prints 0. After that, I equals to 2. Sorry, 1. I equal to 1. 1 is less than or equal to 1. Yeah, true. 1 is less than or equal to 1 because I in range 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. Here also the place of the I. For I 0, it will be 0, 1 like that. So I 1 here means n equals to 1 here. So 1 is equal to 1. Yeah, true. Then print 1. So here when you're going here, see here after that 2, I equal to 2. We compare it with 0, 1 and we are going through the 2. So what inside it? So I equal to 2. Now if n is less than or equals to 1, 2 is less than or equals to 1. No, it probably false. So go with the next statement. What is the statement? Return Fibonacci n minus 1 plus Fibonacci n minus 2. So which was greater than 1, yeah, strictly greater than 1, then you can go with the Fibonacci n minus 1 n minus 2. So what is the Fibonacci n minus 1 means? This is pronunciation is too big, like phi. Okay, we can call it as a phi. Up to now we gone smoothly. So now we have to involve this function. So here phi, sorry, phi of what is that value of n? Here the value of n was 2, right? So it was 2 means 2 is this condition will be failed, so it will have to be go here, right? So 2 minus 1, 1. And what is that another thing? Plus, here the symbol was plus. Phi of what is that? 0. So what is the value for this? What is the value for this? What is the phi 1? 1 is less than or equals to 1. Yeah, true. 1 is equal to 1, right? So print 1. 0, yeah, 0 also same thing. So plus 0, which is equals to 1. So 0, 1, 1 for this first three elements. For example, I equal to 3. I equal to 3. So we know the values of phi 1, phi 0. So we directly keep the if a same variable come again, we just keep directly there. So now, what is the 3? Phi 3. Phi 3 means 3 is not less than or equals to 1. So this condition fails. Return phi n minus 1 means 2, right? So again, phi. So see here, this print is not outside the for loop. This print is inside the for loop. So you have to get like this first line was 0, second line was 1, third line was 1, fourth line was we are doing 1. So you know the values, right? What is the value of phi 2? You know, right? What is the value of phi 2? This is from where? Phi of 2. We get this thing is from phi 2. Phi 2 is equals to phi 1 plus phi 0, which is 1. So the value of phi 2 was 1. The value of phi 1 was also 1. So what we get? We get 2. So again, I equal to 3. Sorry, I equal to 4. And here, what is the phi? Right? What is the phi of 3? So phi of 4. For phi of 4, what we get was phi of 3 plus phi of 2. Because here the function was n minus 1. 4 minus 1, 3. 4 minus 2, 2. Here you have to give another thing that phi of 3 was equal to this thing. And here, what is the phi 3? The phi 3 was equal to 2. And what is the value of phi 2? The value of phi 2 was 1. So what is the value finally? 3. When I was 4. Means when n was 4, the value was 3. Okay? What phi 4? Like now for 5. Okay? For 5, phi of 5. What we will get? Phi of 4 we will get because n minus 1, right? So n minus 2 also. So phi of 3. So what are the values of 3 and 4? 4, the value of 4 was 3, and for 3, the value is 2. So what is the value? 5. For I6, okay, let's give the, we will decrease that up to 6. So how many we will get? We will get 6. So what are the values? 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. So add the inverted commas. It doesn't considered by the program. When you run it, you will get in first line 0, second line 1, third line 1, fourth line 2, and fifth line 3, sixth line was 5. Yeah, he used and right here. If you remove this and, so you will get in my way 0, yeah, 0, 1, yeah, 1, 1, yeah, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 5, 5, like that. See, this is how this recursion works. For every I value, we used for this for loop, we used this for loop for uh, different values for I, like n, the different inputs for n. If we can we have to give the different inputs for n, we can give while loops only, for loop either, like while loop. Other than that, we how can we give the different values for n, right? Either we can give only one value. So here what we done was we given different values and we find the values of this thing. That's all. And yeah, because we know that the phi 0 and phi 1 was values are 0 and 1. With that we get the values finally. So this is how this recursion was works. See, recursion and in for loop there is no danger with it, because we know that in for loop or while loop it works, it how it works, and it will automatically like run the loop again and again. But see here, at here it have to be called itself. It won't, it was calling itself. So somewhat we have to be careful at this recursion, because we did not have this code. We have to generate our own at the exam. We are just explaining how it works. So when you're getting the questions right, you have to be careful with it. So how you have to, yeah, like for creating the code and doing the with the code. So here see, you have to be take a function, and you have to give a base condition that if n will reach here, you have to be written n, that's all enough. Otherwise, if n will be reaches here, you have to be written 0, and that's all, leave that like that. Otherwise, you have to run your, what is that, code itself again and again. Okay, we did not calling, we are not running, or we did not calling it again and again. Just it was going, like it was calling itself again and again, because it was printing inside the function. When was it printing the inside of the function? When we run once. See, but we have to run first time. First time we have to run our, with our input, and again it will run itself. Okay, without our initialization, it doesn't run. Okay, first we have to call it. Again, it will, once it will start, until and unless which the base condition was get far, I mean true, then only it will stop. Otherwise, it also behaves like a loop. So how loop works? Same as here, because but there it automatically behaves like a loop. But here, when it was calling itself, because of that, it was behaving like a loop. So we completed this recursion, and I want to say about this reverse string, but not here. After coming the list, right, about the list, when I'm explaining the list tuple set, so at that time we can discuss about this. And this is the recursion. See, for this recursion we have to do more examples, then only we can understand what is recursion and which conditions we have to implement here to get the output exactly correctly. So here see, he having that print, and how he get the idea of that print of n counter n minus 1, like that. We have to get some ideas. So for that ideas, we have to practice more. We have to do number of sums on it. Then only we will get the uh, some grip on the, what is that? Yeah, recursion. So after this, thank you. And after this, we can go with the questions. We completed the concept, only a basic concept on this unit 3. But we are having a much like large amount of questions, like many questions are there to solve. So in coming sessions, we will start from basic, and we will go slowly. Already we started completed the basic thing, so we'll go directly into the def with for loop, if loop, sorry, if statements, for loop, nested if, like that. So when we are going with the def, so we are going in a, we will go in a smooth way. Don't worry about that. So after these examples, if we complete the examples on def function, this recursion, and mathematical function import math, like that. After the completing these things, we can go with the unit 4. That was list, tuple, and sets, like that. So after going there, we can continue with it. So before, we have to do examples on this def function. So thank you for watching. Yeah.